Hi, welcome to this week's video. My name's Paul. So summer is finally arriving, and with summer comes more interesting skies. I love summer skies, all the clouds and the shapes and different shades of blue and things in the sky. So it inspires me to make more art, I think. So this is one of the paintings I did this week. To give you some idea of time scale, I painted it on Thursday. I recorded it obviously on the Thursday as well. Did a bit of editing on the Friday, and I usually do a voiceover. Because I like to listen to music while I'm making the videos, I can't just do a running commentary as I'm painting, because that would get flagged up as a copyright infringement on YouTube, and my channel would probably get blocked. So yeah, I usually record the thing, listening to music, wipe out that audio, and then just narrate over the top of the video again. So I did that on the Friday and then released it on the Saturday. And that's a typical sort of time scale for making these sort of videos. In terms of materials and things, again, it's Hahnemühle paper. This paper is a little bit thicker. It's a heavier paper. This German paper company, Hahnemühle, it is their 450th or something anniversary. So they produced the special paper this year, which is 450 something grams or something per square meter. So it is a thicker paper than usual, but it's actually reasonably priced. The pencil marks you can see on the paper is because I plan to get this one framed. So I'm going to put a mount over the top of it, and the pencil marks are just rough marks that let me know where the edges of the mount will be. There's no point painting right up to the edge of the paper if people aren't actually going to see that part of the painting. Other things are the same as all my other paintings. So it's Sennelier paint. I use tube form of the paint. And this one brush that I've been using for about 2 years now, it's starting to disintegrate. So I notice when I do a lot of paintings now, little bits of bristle are breaking off and things. I might need to invest in a new brush at some point. The other thing is, I'll show you in a second the plastic palette that I use. Like I say, I use the paint in tubes. So I just squeeze a little bit of the paint out onto the palette at a time. I do mix paints a little bit, not as much as some other artists would. I don't really try to get true colors, or local color, I think they sometimes call it. So for example, this hedgerow that I'm painting, hedgerows are not actually blue, of course, but I paint them as blue. So therefore I'm not using as many colors, and I'm not trying to get a true color the way some artists do. So very often I just use paint straight from a tube. So this is the palette. I can't remember how much it cost. It was not expensive. I think I bought it off Amazon. Or actually it may even have been, and I'm sure different countries have these, like a pound shop or a dollar shop, or everything's reasonably cheap. I think I may have bought it in one of those. I think it originally came with a lid. I can't remember where I put the lid, but basically I just squeeze a little bit of the paint out. A watercolor, of course, tends to dry up, but you can reactivate it with water. And mostly I'm using the colors on the right hand side, the sort of light phthalo green, cadmium yellow, and a few blues. You can see there's reds and oranges up there and earth colors, which I almost never use. So for me, the palette is almost just something where it's just convenience to somewhere I can squeeze a bit of paint out onto. It's not as big a thing for me as it is for some artists. Which is why I don't really go into whole, these are the colors I use, etc., etc. And it is a very common question, but my answer maybe annoys a few people, but my answer is just use whatever colors you like to use. So if you want to paint blue hedgerows, paint blue hedgerows. Why not? Take a look at Fauvist art. I mean, they had pink hedges and purple trees and things. Do what you want to do. If you're looking for advice on sort of realistic colors and color mixing and things, I am absolutely not the man to ask about those sort of questions. In terms of this painting, I was happy enough with where it's going at the moment. The bottom left-hand corner that I'm sort of fiddling with at the moment, that's the bit that gave me the most trouble. And you can see I put down one color, wiped it off, put another color down. It did actually go on for quite a while, this one corner. That happens sometimes. Sometimes the entire painting, it just doesn't work out, but in this case it was just that one corner. You can see the sort of solution I went for was, in the end, I had a blue, I put some scratch marks onto it and then dabbed some cadmium yellow on top of that. So this is a scan of the dried painting, and you can see the colors are different. There's a few different reasons for that. First of all, of course, with watercolor, as the paint dries into the paper, the color lessens, sort of dulls down a bit. And that just happens with watercolor as it sinks into the paper. The other reason is the camera that I use. It's not a super fantastic camera. It's, I can't afford the big, really high-class cameras, so it doesn't capture colors the way they really should be. The scanner is much better at getting the real colors. But anyway, I was happy with this painting. Again, I stretched it a little bit horizontally, and that's just to keep Instagram happy, because Instagram can't really cope with tall, thin images. Okay, so if you'd like to subscribe, just click on the big red button below, and hopefully see you in the next video.